Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday to everybody out there. Hope everyone's having an amazing weekend. So, we're back again for another Show Up, Speak Up episode. And this week, again, as always, we're doing something a little bit different. And I've got the lovely Brittney on today. And Brittney is the social media guru, okay? So you've got to tune into this. And Brittney actually helps women to start to level up in their business. She's the founder of the Social Babes community and also the podcast host of Hey Social Babes, which I was really proud and excited to be a part of this week. So I'm really excited to talk to Brittney today to share something a little bit different to what we've had before. So what I'll do is I'll invite Brittney on. So just bear with. And we'll just wait for her to join.
Hey!
Hello again.
Hey, happy Sunday.
I know, right? How are you?
Good, how are you? I'm super excited for today.
I know. We had so much fun early in the week, so I'm really happy to have you on in return. And thank you again for sparing your Sunday to do this.
Of course. I love this kind of stuff, and I'm super excited to be a part of this.
Awesome. And yeah, like I said, I've never had anybody like you on before, so this is really, really cool. Like first time this is happening. But if you could just explain a bit more to everyone about what you do, your work that you do and your why. And I always quite interested to know because everybody has like a reason for why they start their business and why they do what they do. So yeah, you could.
For sure, I would love to. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. For those of you guys that are just jumping on, my name is Brittney Megan. I am the founder of Socials and Stilettos, the community leader of Social Babes Co., and the host of the Hey Social Babes podcast. I got into this kind of social media realm because I actually got into a car accident 5 years ago. And at that time, I was a hairdresser, so I was unable to return back to work due to the injuries I got from my car accident. And I had to kind of figure out, okay, what am I going to do with my time to still make money? So I went into social media management. And, ideally, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Even before going into hairdressing, I knew that I wanted to fulfill some sort of purpose. I just didn't know what it was at that time. So as bad and horrible as that experience was, I'm honestly grateful for it because it kind of threw me into this online world. And my goal in this space is to really help specifically female entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs in general, just, build their own empire online. I'm drawn towards female entrepreneurs because I feel like as women, we are constantly we're constantly thrown into this stigma as when we have kids, we got to stay home, raise our kids, and that's kind of our life. Whereas now in this digital age, we're actually able to build businesses online with pretty much anything, which is super cool. So my reason why is to help women become financially sustainable on their own so that when, there is things like domestic violence or when they do, want to leave and go their own way, they're able to support themselves. And, it's so important to me because my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I saw with her that she never had her own identity or something that really fueled her and pushed her forward every day other than me and my brother. So when we got older, she was kind of like, I don't have anything. So yeah, that's a little bit about my purpose. It is not so much about me, it's about other people. I really want other women to be able to build something of their own.
Yeah, I love that. All this empowerment. And again, that, women's empowerment is so strong at the moment. So yes. I love that you're kind of fully in that space. And I'm the same as you, actually. My mum was a stay-at-home mum, and I saw that she came out the other side of that and kind of was really lost with who she is. Right. And it doesn't actually have to be like that anymore, like you said, in the digital age that we're in, which is kind of exciting in a little way.
For sure. And that's the biggest thing, right? Is that everybody has a purpose. And your purpose is not just to push out babies and raise them. Follow your passion, and whatever you're passionate about, you can actually make it into a business, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So when you kind of talk to someone for the first time or someone approaches you, what are there any like common problems or challenges that you see in the women that you work with or in your community? Is there anything that kind of is like a trend that you're always noticing?
For sure. And it's always, always, always mindset. It's not that they don't have the skill, because if they didn't have the skill, they wouldn't first of all want to pursue that as a business. So they know that they can do it, but it's always mindset. And I see it all the time. It's like, I hear things all the time like, oh, like I'm not as good as other people. There's so many people that do what I do, or, like they're struggling with properly putting a value on what they're offering. So they're either constantly offering discounts or charging super low for their services. And yeah, it's mindset. That's what it comes down to. Like, I really feel like that's that one thing that holds a lot of entrepreneurs back, and people in general back, from really reaching that next level of their life.
And do you see that more as a confidence thing, or literally like a blockage, or something else entirely? What is that kind of resistance that you see typically?
I feel like honestly it's a little bit of both. I see it confidence, like, oh, like I don't think that I'm good enough, right? But then I feel like that also kind of ties into what you do, which is that limiting beliefs, right? So I feel like it's kind of a mixture, because confidence, I feel like it is so misunderstood, because people think like, oh, dress up, like, put lipstick on, put some heels on, like you're confident. It's like, no, it like stems from within. And it often is tied back, which to limiting beliefs. So I feel like it's kind of a mixture of both.
Yeah, that's so true. Like you said, it's something within them. And you could put all the lipstick on in the world, but when that belief is stored so ingrained in you, that stuff is really, it doesn't feel, there's no like resonance there. It feels a bit like you're not showing up as your authentic self. And that's probably the key, isn't it? And something I talk about is like getting to that authentic self place where you can be who you want to be. That takes time, doesn't it? I guess it's the same in business as it is in like the therapy and coaching world.
Right. I totally agree. And something about like being authentic is, I feel like a lot of people think, like, for example, like if you follow me or watch me, you will know that I am very extra and out there. So I'll come on stories and I'm like, hey guys, how are you? And I'm super loud and excited. But the thing is that I've heard all the time, like, I feel like I have to be that type of person to be successful, and that's not true. You need to be authentic, and you need to be confident in your authentic self for you to be successful, or for you to actually own that confidence. If you're not authentic, it's not going to feel right to you. You're going to feel awkward when you're talking to people. Even if you do show up on, let's say, Instagram or stories, or you do a video and you are that kind of like loud, outgoing, bubbly personality, but that's not you. What's going to happen when you jump on the phone with somebody? You're going to be like, now I'm talking to a person.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually being okay. If you're a natural introvert, be a natural introvert and kind of own that space. But like you said, if you're like you, be that extrovert and fully like step into that persona, because that is essentially you at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, when you are your authentic self, you're going to attract the right kind of clients, the right kind of friends to you, because they're going to probably have very similar personality traits. And it comes down to like that saying, it's your vibe attracts your tribe. And that's really what it comes down to. And I say it over and over and over again. If you're not that outgoing personality type, and you're attracting clients that are, there might be a little bit of a blockage, because you might not meet that same level of like outgoingness, and they might not connect with you that way, right? I mean, you could also have the opposite. You could have somebody that's outgoing and is looking for somebody that's, a little more like chillaxed and, not so out there and high energy all the time, and knows how to like just really keep it chill, right? So I feel like you just got to be authentic. Like, you have to be authentic, because you won't grow if you don't.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So if someone was obviously moving, especially right now, obviously given the pandemic, everyone's moving online. For
Yes.
someone that is either in the professional or personal sense, feeling quite nervous about being in the online space and kind of showing up online, what kind of advice would you give someone to kind of start to build their confidence to move into the online world?
Right. So I feel like the first thing is, if you were brand new, like you don't post photos of yourself, you don't post videos, like maybe we'll start from that point, and you're really just stepping into this online space. I feel like the number one thing is that you need to first provide value. So I feel like when you provide value, you start to see the interaction with people, because you're providing some sort of education or some sort of something that's filling their cup at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that kind of positive response. And when you get that positive response, it's so easy to be like, okay, I can do this again, right? So that would be my first thing. The other thing would be, don't be afraid to post photos of yourself or jump on video. I think a lot of people struggle with, okay, like I'm online and I'm just going to post a bunch of quotes and promotional posts. But the thing is that nobody will learn to know, like, and trust you through not seeing you. Like, they got to see you to be able to put a person, and, you know, they need to be able to tie somebody to that business. And without putting yourself first, nobody else, unless you have a giant team, which is totally cool. But like, if you are a solopreneur, nobody else is going to be able to jump on there and do it for you. Like, you got to be that person, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like when it comes to confidence and showing up on camera, I think that the most important thing, first of all, is mindset. You got to know what you bring to the table, and you got to keep in mind that people out there need what you have to offer. Somebody out there needs you, and you, even if it's one person, you need to be okay with showing up for that one person. Because that one person is enough, right? And you know what's funny is, when you start showing up for that one person, that turns into 2 people, and then that turns into 3, and then sooner or later, you know, who knows, maybe you'd have 1 million followers, right? So I think that's the most important thing, is know what you bring to the table, provide value, and really work on your mindset. Like, one thing that I did, you know, when I struggled to show up on video, was constantly listening to personal development videos. So I would get up in the morning and put on YouTube. I would go and put in, you know, motivational videos, and I would listen to, like, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson yelling at me, telling me I'm a beast, and that would make me feel good, right? So, like, whatever it is for you, like, if you need to listen to a podcast, if it means throwing on Beyonce and dancing around for a few minutes so that you can get your energy a little higher, so that you can feel a little more comfortable with showing up on video, just do it, because somebody out there needs you.
Yeah, I love that. And it's true. Someone out there really does need you and what you've got to offer. And it's like owning that. Like, I actually have a question. When I first started, actually, and I'm saying this because some people might be able to relate. Given my background with my eating disorder, I was quite nervous when I started my business about how much of my story I shared online and how much I did give away of myself and my past. What's your thoughts on that? Because obviously we've got to be authentic and we want people to trust us, so we've got to share, but where's that line? What would you say to that?
Yeah, to be honest, it's scary. It's scary to open up and talk about your story. And so I've been through a few pretty traumatic situations in my life that I share openly on my page, because I know, and I'm comfortable at this point to do that. I remember in the beginning, I was so scared, and, you know, just trying to even share my story about my car accident, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is traumatizing for me. Like, I don't want to keep bringing this up. And let alone, like, I don't want people to just tie that into me and constantly bring it up all the time, right? Or that to kind of like become me. So it was so funny, because it, you know, as I posted that story and I talk about it on the podcast, and I've been interviewed about my story, something that I learned is that you heal through storytelling, and that somebody out there, like, you are given certain, I want to say, like, situations, cards in life. You're dealt certain cards because you somebody out there needs to hear your story so that they can be shown that it's possible to heal. It's possible to go through it, and it's possible to come out better on the other side, right? So I think no matter what your story is, like for me, I talked about I had an eating disorder too. I had binge eating disorder when I was in high school. I talked about, being sexually assaulted openly on my page, talked about my car accident, talked about, my mindset journey. And every single time I posted something, there was nothing but support, healing for me on my end. So I feel like the more that you don't try to shove things down inside, it allows you to heal in your own way. But also, I always had more than one person send me a message and say, I'm so thankful that you shared that. Here's my story. I've never told anybody before, but here's my story, right? So I think that, tell your story, because there's so much power through this online space. And if you're scared of being judged, there's a little button, and it's called the block button. So don't be afraid to use it. But people need you and your story and your experiences to know that they can come out on the other side too, right?
That's amazing. Like for you being through so much, and actually, like you said, it is kind of healing in a way. And I found that I was, like you said, really scared to do it, and the fear of being judged. But 99% of the time, people will just like buy into that and actually give you the support back. And it's only, like you said, we've got like the little tiny 1% that you get the odd negative comment, and like you said, hit the block button, and then
exactly.
So I found that that fear wasn't actually the reality when you actually go through with that.
Right. And I feel like too, like a perfect example is you and I, Hannah, didn't know each other super well before we jumped on our first call when we talked. And I remember you saying about your eating disorder, and I was like, oh my God, like I had one too, right? So it gives a way for people to connect with you, because automatically I was like, wow, like I actually haven't talked to another person that kind of lived that path too, that I could connect with on that level, right? So when we go through things, we think that we're the only one, and we think that nobody else could possibly have gone through such a traumatizing situation, or you don't know anybody that has. So you hear of things like, there's other people that have, but like you don't know of anybody. So when you share it, like you connect with people that have too, which is so beautiful.
Yeah, and like you would never know otherwise. Half the things that we've got going on, other people would never know unless we share and we tell our story. And I guess for you, that's a big part of your business, isn't it? And is that what you encourage with the women that you work with? Is this piece on storytelling?
Yeah, 100%. I always say, like, by you sharing your story, like, and it's funny because analytics wise, and like, the social media junkie that I am, I look in to see like what are the best performing posts on Instagram. They're always the ones that are sharing stories. Like people love hearing stories, and again, it brings that whole relatability factor in, and you will grow so much faster in an online space when you are completely authentic and you own your journey and you share it to inspire other people.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said, they're the top performing posts. And do you find that posts of like people's faces more like higher performing than other posts? What's some other trends that you've noticed?
Yeah, so I don't only do my own social media coaching and things like that. I have social media management clients as well, so I get really hands in and get to see their analytics as well. And 100%, like whenever we post photos, even if they're professionally done where we can see the owner's face or the business owner's face, like those are the ones that are always sitting at the end of the month when I do my reviews with the top comments, likes, top engagement. Like those are the ones that are sitting there, and every month I go like, this is not to my surprise, because people want to see people. Like they want to connect, and especially with everything through COVID, we still want to feel connected to people, and the easiest way is going to be through video, photos, to see other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And what is this reel thing? I saw you did a post the other day, and all the stuff on reels. Please let me know, because I'm slow in the uptake. What
Reels is amazing, and if you have not jumped on it already, you absolutely have to, because I'll tell you a little secret: Instagram favors people who use new features. So if you are using new features, when they roll out, they actually boost your algorithm way higher than it ever would have been, and it heightens your chances of getting featured on the Explore page. So with that being said, Reels, if you know TikTok, is basically TikTok for Instagram. One thing that I love about Instagram is that whatever features they notice, everybody is, drawing towards. So like, for example, Snapchat. Everybody used to go on and put stories on Snapchat, and then Instagram released stories. And now look, it's like the biggest thing. Yeah. We're all posting in stories. So, Reels is pretty much TikTok for Instagram. It's their take on TikTok. And if you don't use TikTok, TikTok is basically an app where you can create multi-clip videos, and it pretty much like combines them into one 15, or I think in TikTok you can go up to 30-second segments. So they're almost like little mini slideshows of videos that you could do, or you could post like one long video. And it's just a really creative place. So if you're somebody that's like looking to get into that, like perfect things to post on Reels would be, behind the scenes stuff, a day in the life where you mash up a bunch of little clips, how-tos, little tutorials. If you are, let's say, somebody who shares a lot of recipes, like little clips on how you make a recipe, right? Or just little bite-sized, creative, teachable. You want it to be valuable, and you want it to be super creative, because that's what's going to keep people kind of wanting to come back for more. But yeah, it's just a really creative new way to create these multi-clip videos. Yeah.
Yeah, always jumping on the bandwagon.
Yes, you have to. It's game-changing.
Yeah, awesome. So aside from obviously your Instagram, you've got the podcast. Do you want to talk a bit more about the podcast and obviously your community as well, so people know a bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's actually fully launching the community on September 7th. It's called Social Babes Co. And I knew when I came into this space, it wasn't about me, it was about other people. And I was like, okay, at some point I need to create some sort of a community to really keep everybody connected. Yeah. And Social Babes Co. is exactly that. It's like the ultimate girl boss community. It's, it's really different compared to some of these other communities that you will see, because it really is all about female entrepreneurship and about, people in this space. So a little juicy little tidbit that nobody knows yet, but we also just did our very first campaign shoot last weekend. So every, quarter of the year, we will be featuring 7 to 10 boss babes and showcasing their journey and featuring them on the website as well. So it really is about the people. And yeah, the podcast kind of houses, between me and that community, because I'm able to bring on such inspiring entrepreneurs just like Hannah, because Hannah and I just recorded an episode, which will be out in a couple of weeks. You guys got to stay tuned. But yeah, it's all about, inspiring, educating, and empowering female entrepreneurs.
I love that. I can just feel it. You just like, this. And aside from Instagram, is there anywhere else people can find you? Obviously, I'll post all your links after this episode, but is there anywhere else people can come find you?
Yeah, for sure. So Pinterest, I just started up a YouTube, so I will be posting fun little tidbits on YouTube. But yeah, the main place I'm at is on Instagram, because that's where all the cool kids are at. And yeah, you guys can definitely go ahead and follow me. Lots of fun stuff coming up. Definitely, follow the Hey Social Babes podcast page as well, because you will be notified when Hannah's episode goes live, which you guys definitely want to listen to that, because it's all about, anxiety and how to overcome, just that feeling, not only in business, but in life. I feel like it relates to. So yeah, you guys definitely want to follow that.
Awesome. But yeah, thank you again so much for jumping on. And yeah, I've loved talking to you this week. It's so good to connect at times like this. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. And it's, again, something completely different to what I've had before. And hopefully, a lot of people will find value in that, especially the times that we're in right now. So Amazing, girl. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you so much. It was such an honor being on here. And I just wanted to say, like, I am so inspired by what you're doing. And you are such a powerful woman. And I'm just so happy that we connected.
I know.
All right, girl. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
We'll speak soon. Thanks, guys. See ya.